Quick shout out to my Patreons who keep this channel going. You can join my Patreon down in the description below. Once again, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to the 18th episode of Higurashi When They Cried New/Go. This is the start of the Village Destroying chapter. Yes, Village Destroying chapter part 1. I don't know if this is the final arc altogether. It would make sense if this was the final arc. If not, it's definitely the second to last arc, because at the shortest they've only been, 4 parts? We've had 5-parters, but we have not had anything beyond shorter than 4 parts. So either this is going to go through to the end of the show, or there's going to be 2 smaller arcs. I don't quite know yet. But yeah, last episode was weird, because as someone who's never seen the originals, which I'm aware is very much a... it's definitely looking... The more I watch this, the more I feel like this probably is more geared as a sequel. But that's only because... Okay, I understand how this is definitely appropriate for newer watchers as well, because last episode felt like a recap of the previous seasons so that we, the new watchers, are caught up and understand what happened beforehand and why that's now different and how that now entails into the new ending that they're trying to tell here. That's what last episode felt like. The whole thing with the military and Takano and Irie with the Higurashi syndrome, like working on the cure and whatnot, like, and how it's injectable, like all of that feels like something that the original series has spent much more time building up and has just been acquainted to us new watchers so that we're still along for the ride without going too in depth on it. That's what that episode felt like. So I'm sure when I do eventually go back to the originals, because I want to go back and watch the originals now. I'm into this universe. I want to see what they did differently in the original series and how it looked differently and all this good stuff. But I'm sure like some of the surprise and plot twists of the original are maybe lost because they've done a recap type version of this version. That's from what I understand. It might not actually be the case, but who knows? I was suspicious of Takano and Irie and their involvement in it fairly early on anyway, so knowing that there was something going on there, good to know. I have no idea what Village Destroying chapter is going to be, but we know Satoko is the other Looper, which was an idea that as soon as they said a blade that can kill a Looper, it's like, okay, well, it's not going to be for suicide, it's going to be for another Looper who's making the changes to the arcs that Rika's been noticing. So yeah, Satoko being the Looper made a lot of sense. There's been a lot of context clues for it. I think her craziness... and her being infected by the syndrome when we awoke that one loop, how she was very calm and put together, and seemed to have, I think if we go back into the dialogue, she seemed to have knowledge of previous loops in of itself as well, to an extent. Like, she may not have been, like, strictly said it, but it kind of implied she had outside knowledge as well. And the way she reacted, obviously, last episode was very, very telling that something was going on. But, yeah, it's not a huge surprise that she ended up being the Looper. Out of all the characters we met, my kind of loose ends with Irie, Takano, and Jiro have kind of been tied off to an extent, unless they're going to play into it a bit more here, but I don't know if they will. I'm curious what the Village Destroying chapter is going to be, because now that they know, they're fully aware that both are Loopers. Rika knows how to actually kill Satoko. I don't know if Satoko knows that Rika retains her memory afterwards. That's something I did see in the comments last time, that it's possible Satoko doesn't know that Rika retains her memory, but if Satoko keeps her memory, she's got to assume that another Looper would also keep her memory. Right? But it looked like the syndrome or whatever took over because her eyes went into that very apparent visual that we'd seen in Rika a couple of times. We saw it at the very end of episode 1 of this series, and then again when Rika confronted Keiichi, she showed those eyes to Keiichi specifically. I think those are the only 2 times we've seen her eyes go like that, though, and now we've seen it in Satoko. So I'm sure there's a bit more to it than that they might explain going forward, but I'm not quite sure what direction I want to go yet. So, new arc, I assume that means we're going to start again from the beginning? I don't know. I really don't know where we're going with this one. Someone said that I do remember very early on saying someone saying that like these arcs are often split into question and answer arcs, so maybe we're moving on to answer arcs, whatever that entails. But I don't actually know how that's going to be the case. Maybe we'll learn why and how Satoko became the Looper. Maybe that's the purpose of this arc. I don't know. I guess we'll see what this ends up being. So I'm just going to shut up and get into the episode because one, I need to save my voice because I've still got another video after this to do, and two, I'm just genuinely interested to see where this goes. So, as per usual, these are time-based full reactions here on YouTube. If you want to see full picture-in-picture, you can go to my Patreon down in the description below. £4 a month gets you access to all of that. Backdated shows, current shows from this season, future shows, as well as a movie poll that's currently going on. So you can vote on what movie I watched this month, which is almost certainly going to be your name at this rate. But here on YouTube, we have to do timer-based. So bottom left of the screen, you'll see the time of the episode. I'll count you down 3, 2, 1, play. Then on play, you start the episode, I start the episode, and we'll be in sync. We are watching this one on Funimation, since that's who's licensed it here in the UK. We have the Kanekawa logo, then the Funimation logo, so about 10 seconds or so of logos, give or take. I'll call them out as they go past. You can also use screen flash on my face or the mic to tell when the scene is transitioning. So, with all that said, let's get into this week's episode, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Kanekawa and Funimation. Cheers. Here we go. It's been raining. Oh, there's the gunshot. But it's not the gunshot we thought it was. Okay, so we're back to this version. Okay. Okay. Grandfather scrapbook. Okay, that's some information. Okay, he's also... Okay. I don't trust you to do that properly, whatever. Okay. There's a preventive... there's a serum, apparently. Okay. Not 100% effective. Okay. This is all lies, I'm assuming. Just so Jiro can take her. So we're going to take her to, I assume, Irie then? You're meant to take her? Whatever. Yes, we'll be taking her. Okay. So that's not her real name, I'm guessing, then. The one before was probably her real name. Okay. Oh, that's Hanyu. Hmm. Hmm. So I'm guessing, is this, since Hanyu's still here? I'm guessing this is the ending of the original arc, maybe? OP time. Do you see how Rika's mouth closed right as they went to the OP? That was creepy. I need to look at that. I need to look at that. That was kind of creepy editing. Because normally you just hold the still shot and then transition to OP. You don't have a slight edit right before that. That just felt kind of creepy to me. So I'm taking it that since that's the whole Takano thing, I'm gonna guess that's probably the ending of how season 2 ended, or the original ended, however it went. If that's the case, maybe we're gonna see how we ended up with This might be how we get Satoko as the Looper, and what happened to Rika to pull her back in, maybe. Because that's the great mystery. Why did she get pulled back in? And was it Satoko's doing that pulled her back in? Maybe that's the answers we'll get this arc. I don't know. Alright. The village is at peace. June 8th. Hmm. 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 Sure. So it's him instead of Mion. They do look good. Hmm. Right. I suppose. Hmm. Then it's everyone together. You'd hope, anyway. Mm-hmm. Alright. Right, the festival. That you're not meant to. Uh-huh. Sure. Oof. Okay. Right, that makes sense. That's what she says she's doing, but she's keeping a secret from Satoko for some reason. This does feel like Satoko's origin, almost, as to, you know. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. uh, oh boy. Oh boy. Jesus. Yes. God damn it, Rie. God damn it. Yes. Okay. That's good. Mm-hmm. Okay. Lessening. Lessening. That's good. Really? Hmm. Okay. That's both brilliant, but also very worrying. Hmm. Suspicious. Wow. Hmm. Interesting. Ah, the entire village is improving. I think we I think we have an idea. Whole Takano thing seems to have done it. Oh. I assume they're referring to Takano or something? See, they're keeping it vague enough that I think the originals will still be a good watch. Oh. We're planning something for the festival. Hmm. What are they thinking of doing? I'm sure this isn't going to help. Hmm. Are they trying to replace the festival? Change the festival? Hmm. I get the feeling whatever they're trying to do is not going to be a good thing. We didn't see her bring it down. I wonder why. Oh, she is here. So they are going to announce whatever it is. Are they going to step down as the three heads, or what? Yes. Mm-hmm. It tends to happen. Unless we change. Again, change is the... Yeah. Okay. Good joke. Hmm. Sure. Oh, it will. Hmm. Suspicious. Suspicious. Hmm. Okay. Where are we shopping? Ah, okay. We're shopping for something else, aren't we? Bookstore? It's gonna be like school curriculum books? Where are we going? It's gonna be like education books or something, isn't it? When she plans to leave. Entrance exams. Hmm. She's planning to leave to a different school. St. Lucia Academy. And that's okay. So yeah, it looks like what we're having here is the what caused probably what caused Satoko to become a looper, or what influenced her and why she feels this way. With no knowledge of the originals, I'm going to guess like this is taking up like this is progressing from the originals and is doing the stopgap between there and what we saw at the very beginning of this series. Because we said it's been like so many years. I went to St. Lucia, I left, and I'm free of it. Why am I now back? So I guess we're covering that time period before we got brought back. I'm gonna guess. This will explain why Satoko is the way she is. I hope it's not as simple as just saying Satoko didn't want things to change and wanted Rika here forever. I hope it's not as simple as that, but I mean, that in of itself is a motivation. Because they keep bringing up the idea of change and everything throughout this series. This ED, though. I love it. I wonder if we're going to change the ED animation. Because we haven't changed OP or ED animations at all this season. So I don't know if they will or not. We don't have anything extra, do we? Just Village Destroying Chapter Part 2. Interesting, okay. So yeah, it looks like this is the stopgap between the end of the originals and leading up to the beginning of GOU. Like, that's what it feels like we're getting here. And this will explain why Satoko became the way she is, and what led to the events of this. That's what this feels like. So this is the answer arc to Satoko's syndrome, which is apparently gone. It ain't gone. Like, it's not just gone. It can't be that simple. I don't trust that in the slightest. But I guess we'll see. So yeah, this is going to be why she became a looper, probably. Unless she was a looper the entire time, but I don't think that's the case. So I did want to go back quickly to... when was it? Like 450? Because, yeah, like I said, I'm going to do this on the external version, because Funimation's player is not built for going through frames like that. Where is Higurashi? This episode, we want to go about 450 in or so. Yeah, for some reason she closes her mouth. I don't know why they animated that bit. I was expecting to maybe see something a little more even from that, but no, they just decided that instead of holding the open mouth, she just closes her mouth. Like, why bother animating those, like, 3 frames of her closing her mouth before the OP starts? What was the point of that? It just seems very, very weird. Anyway, there's nothing there. It's just it was kind of creepy to see her do that right before the beginning of the OP. Anyway, yeah, okay. I think I'm understanding what the purpose of this arc is, and maybe village destroying. Maybe this is what tore the village apart. Like, in the fact of everything's changing, but Rika leaves, causing Satoko to go berserk or get the syndrome back again, turn into a looper, however that ends up working. And this destroys the village again and sends them back to the very beginning. Maybe that's how they're going to interpret it. I don't quite know. But that seems to be the case from what I've seen so far. Okay. But yeah, the original... Right, this is 1983, right? Higurashi starts in 1983, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so this is already a year after, as was said. I just couldn't remember 1983 or 1984. I'm just an idiot when it comes to that, dates and stuff. But yes, so we're already a year after, which means we need to go another 4 years of time before we get sucked back in. So I assume we're going to follow Satoko and what she's going through here, because something happens, again, with this whole theme of change going on. I can only feel like that's got to be part of it, but I'm not quite sure yet how that's going to end up being. But yeah, I think the vagueness of, like, whilst they've shown the outcome of the original series, or what I believe was the outcome of the original series, with the whole Takano and Jiro thing going on, and the whole military thing, and the Irie's involvement, they've shown it, but they haven't necessarily explained it too in-depth. At least not super in-depth, because it's only been, like... It's only had, what, like... maybe a 12th, if not less, of the airtime than what the original series would have given it. So it's still ambiguous enough that I think watching the originals, I'm still going to get a lot out of it, because from what I've heard, the original series was also a lot more visceral and gory for the sake of gore, as opposed to this, which at least the first 2 arcs started off way creepier and like just atmospheric creepy rather than visually and gory creepy than the originals, just because the originals were done by, what was it Studio Lurch who did? No, it was Studio Dean who did the original, right? When They Cry, the original 2006, yeah, Studio Dean. Apparently that adaptation was more gory, apparently. That's from what I've heard. But I assume it still has its like creepy atmospheric moments as well, obviously. But yeah, yeah, I still think I'll get a lot out of the original series when we get to that, because for those of you who don't know, and I haven't listened to me too much on this journey, at the end of this season, which is going to be, hang on, it's a 24 episode season, right? I think it's 24, or was it 25? It is 24, so 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So 6 more episodes left. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, this series, we end it on the March 19th. That's when we, unless there's going to be another week break at any point, we're finishing this series on March 19th. So immediately, I think, from March 26th, because most of the other shows from this season will be wrapping up by that time, I imagine. Actually, no, this will be ending a little earlier than most other shows. But I think just straight away from the next week, I want to go into the original Higurashi from 2006. And then we'll work it around, obviously, the next season's worth of shows as well. But yeah, I think, yeah, the rest of these season shows won't be finishing because they've still got more than 6 episodes to go, I believe. Yeah, most of the other shows this season will still have some time to go. Actually, no, Promise Neverland and Promise Neverland might be finished. Yeah, Promise Neverland will be finishing, I think, at the same time as Higurashi, if I am counting that right, because episode 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... Yeah, so Promise Neverland will finish on the 19th as well. So Fridays is only a free show day, as it stands, because Heaven's Design Team will finish... Heaven's Design Team will have that episode. Laid Back Camp will still be going. Dr. Stone will still be going, although that will be the last episode of Dr. Stone. So yeah, I can easily start Higurashi 2006 on the 26th of March. So unless there's any more delays, I'm going to go straight into Higurashi 2006 because I want to know more. And we'll see how that direction goes versus how people feel having watched all the originals and then going to GOU. I honestly think, without having seen the originals yet, I do think, actually, watching GOU first is not the way to go. I don't think so. Just especially because of more recent episodes that have been talking about stuff from the originals that, as a new viewer, I now know the outcome of, but I don't know the context of, necessarily. So, I think going through the originals and going through the airing order, essentially, I think that might be the better approach. But we'll see when we get there, I suppose. You guys can let me know your thoughts if you've watched the originals, if you haven't watched the originals, and how you feel at the end of GOU in a couple of weeks' time. Only 6 more episodes to go, so we're almost done with this journey, and boy, what a journey it's been. Anyway, that's going to do it for CIAs. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed that one as per usual. Leave a like if you did, as it helps grow the channel, as do your comments on what you thought of the episode. Be mindful, I am very careful about reading comments on this series, just because of potential spoilers for the original, which I know sounds weird, because this show has been giving spoilers for the original, but context for those spoilers I'd rather not read, just so I can go into the originals and still be surprised by the way they tell the story, you know? So that's why I'm still a bit mindful of reading comments on this series. But obviously once we get into the original series, I'll be a bit more engaging in them. Don't forget to subscribe as well to see next week's episode, as well as the rest of the Winter 2021 lineup you can find on my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, see you guys later.